Hey guys, Brockshield here. This time bringing you SM Cath 2 pulls for the entire run. So the run opens up the exact same way as the previous runs you may have seen, where we pull the entire courtyard in the first pull. In terms of why I'm now able to do this in 2 pulls versus the styles I was doing previously, I have received a few gear upgrades from Brockshield, which have been helpful. So thank you to everyone in Elegance and the Bloodsail Buccaneer server who are part of our raids that have helped me in this process. So that gear has been helpful. With that said, the primary reason that I'm now able to do these pulls is because of my alt in which I multi-boxed on my Druid Denarius. So I spent probably 200 gold on upgrades to his gear. The best rings that he can get for the level, trinkets that will help with healing, the best gear he can get for the level. And that's really what I felt the difference would be. When I was testing this out solo previously and was dying, I realized that Brock could survive long enough. I just couldn't pump the heals in that would keep him alive. And I realized that, excuse me, because a level 60 healer would have been able to heal him. So I realized that yes, Denarius in this video I believe is level 46, I want to say. Not 100% sure. So that's what I realized, is a level 60 toon would be able to heal him. So I didn't want to level Denarius up to 60 because he would take too much experience away from the players buying these runs. So for that reason, I felt probably a maximum level of around 50 would be acceptable. Basically, as far as he can get doing these runs, but no further. Because at some point, every mob will be great to him. So that's really what pushed it over the top. So here, standard stuff, go ahead and AoE them. Now that I have the entire cathedral, the entire courtyard on me. Bring them over, round them up, and AoE them down. You'll notice for this I'm not going to use a sapper, I'm not going to use a potion, and so that tremendously reduces the cost per run for me. I will require sapper inside the cathedral, as we'll see that here. That is still very difficult for a paladin because, unlike a mage, the only other class that can do this and better, we actually have to take the hits, so it is very difficult in the cathedral without the sapper. The sustain becomes too much as it requires many potions, consumes, etc. So standard stuff here, just healing, switching between the tunes, multi-boxing. So it doesn't take too long now. You'll see that the consecrations are ticking for between 55 and 54, so the improved spell power, which is what I've been focusing on, is what really helps Brockshield bring them down not only here faster, but especially inside the cathedral where the healers can be a bit of a problem. And later on you'll see Denarius will also use his AoE. The druids have Hurricane. I like to go with the lightning. I think of the D&D version of it, the druid, the storm ability. So yeah, that's really the first pull. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of these mobs here. I'll let Denarius get in on some of the fun as well. And with that, we'll skip the loot because you've seen all that before. So now moving on to the juicy stuff here in the cathedral. Now this is going to get very difficult, you'll see. The idea is, first of all, aggro Mograine. He'll pull everything to you, so if you feel like you can survive it, there's no reason not to. The other important thing with actually doing the bosses as well is they give average 2G per run of loot, so it's quite a bit. Even if I'm spending 2 more minutes to get the bosses, it's a guaranteed 2G and often worth it. So, gonna round them up again, bubble, consecrate, heal myself up, top myself off there, pop the sapper, and switch over here, as this is gonna get very difficult now. So you can see large chunks of my health are going to get taken off, and so the healing is pretty essential that it happens consistently because there's no other way as a paladin to survive this. I think even with the best gear, it's not possible for a melee class to do this without multi-boxing. Or again, you can have other players help you, but you can't sell the runs in that case because they're helping you. So you can see the rest of my party is way back at the waterfall. They're all under-leveled for this, and they get all the experience from wiping the entire SM Cathedral, and you can see even Daenerys is still getting some. So still have my potion here, use my mana potion here, and now you can see we're going to finish them up with the Hurricane. The cost of these runs is 7G per run. I came to that number for a number of reasons. Unfortunately, starting with the fact that the Bloodsail Buccaneer server is pretty low econ, so I felt that I couldn't charge more only because the players couldn't afford it, pretty much. I know on other servers this service would probably go for more, though at the same time on other servers there are power levelers who can not only do this better, but also do higher level dungeons, which frankly I would have been happy to buy those services if they were readily available on Bloodsail Buccaneers. Unfortunately they really weren't, so took it upon myself to find an independent solution to my wish to power level my toons, and hopefully help others in the process as well. So here I choose to loot at this point in time. I don't always loot here. I'm looting here because I want to let Daenerys regen his mana as well as Brockshield, while Whitemane expends her mana, because at some point you have to loot either way. So at this point you'll see that Whitemane exhausts her mana, which means she can't heal, which means the final push for the last two bosses is a lot simpler. Moving forwards, I do not see myself doing any higher level dungeons. I tested out Blackrock Depths, that front pull, but just the difference between the Paladin and Mage for AoE is they just don't have to get hit, which means that they can do pulls of any level because their style is, run away, do the damage. And that has never been something I've identified with from a character, a player class perspective. I've always been a Paladin. I love the Paladin class, so I just can't go any higher, because what happened in Blackrock Depths is I tried just 7 mobs without Daenerys, and man, I had to run out of the dungeon. I mean, just 7 of them, and it's like you cannot survive for so long, I mean, doesn't matter pretty much any class you are, you just can't survive it without healing, and even if I could, it doesn't compare to the efficiency of what you're seeing here. So mercifully, this is at least the sweet spot for what I'm capable of doing as a Paladin. And these runs, you can level a toon from the 20s all the way up to 45 efficiently. So I wanted to share this with you, as this is pretty much the masterclass of what I'll be able to achieve in Classic. There's really no further dungeon I wish to push for, and this is what I'll primarily be doing because I've always loved the SM Cath dungeon. So I'm very thankful to everybody who's helped me in this process, appreciative to everybody who buys the runs, and thank you to you for watching these videos. I would say if you do enjoy the videos, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, I want to say thank you. Light be with you, and take care. Thank you.